There lived a queen called Adebimpe who was in a loveless marriage with King Adedire. The only reason they got married was to strengthen the friendly ties between their two kingdoms. Queen Adebimpe struggled to make her husband, the king, fall in love with her, but nothing worked. To make the matter worse, King Adedire married 10 more wives after her, and all hopes of having his attention faded away. The only source of joy that kept Queen Adebimpe going was her son, Prince Adeleke. So she decided to pour all her love and affection into her son. After all, she couldn't compete with her husband's 10 wives. She loved her son so much and got unhealthily attached to him. She dictated everything in his life, even after he was no longer a child. After her son, Prince Adeleke clocked 22 years and started bringing home maidens he wanted to marry, Queen Adebimpe will always have something bad to say about all of them, no matter how good the maidens were. She looks like she can't cook. I heard she has slept with almost everyone in the village. This one is possessed. All they do in their family is steal. This and more horrible words came out of Queen Adebimpe's mouth about every single maiden her son shows interest in. She would always end her disapproval conversations with, "Trust me, son, I am your mother and I know what is best for you." Prince Adeleke also complies with his mother's decisions every single time. All she had to say was, "Not this one, son. Trust me, I know what is best for you." And he will immediately end the relationship with the maiden. She wanted her son all to herself and did everything in her power to keep him tied to her apron strings. She believed that once her son gets married, his wife would take her place and all the attention she gets from her son. There came a time Prince Adeleke started a love relationship with a lady called Arike. Before choosing this time around, he made sure to pick someone who he felt ticked all his mother's boxes and standard. Arike was a famous food seller in the village, known and praised by all for her decency and great cooking skills. She was also very beautiful and respectful. After 3 months of their relationship, Prince Adeleke finally took Arike to the palace to meet his mother. As soon as she saw Queen Adebimpe come in, Arike went on her knees. "Good afternoon, my queen," Arike said politely. Queen Adebimpe mumbled something that sounded like "good afternoon" incoherently. She had a big frown on her face. She was sure her son had brought another girl he would like to marry. "Mother, this is Arike. She is that famous cook Chief Ajao talked about. I would be beyond lucky to have her as my bride. Don't you agree, mother?" Adeleke joyfully asked his mother, who looked lost in thoughts of how she could get her son to end this relationship with Arike. "Mother," Adeleke called out to Queen Adebimpe, who instantly pretended she had an headache. "I have a serious headache. I think I might be coming down with a fever," she added. "May the gods forbid, mother. Let me quickly get the palace physician," Adeleke said while rushing out. Arike quickly moved a wooden stool closer to Queen Adebimpe and placed her legs on it. She asked the palace maids for where to get drinkable water and brought a cup to the queen. In Arike's little way, she did everything she could to make Queen Adebimpe feel better. But throughout this event, all Queen Adebimpe could think of was how to destroy Arike and get her off her beloved son. The following day, Prince Adeleke went to check on his mother. "How are you feeling today, mother?" Adeleke asked. "I am much better, my son," she replied. "I brought you some fruit juice. I made sure to juice them all by myself," Adeleke told his mother. Queen Adebimpe thanked him, and as he was about to leave her chambers, she stopped him. "My son, I would like to discuss something with you." "What is it, mother?" Adeleke asked. "It is about the maiden you brought yesterday." "Adeleke, you can't marry her." "But why? Why can't I marry Arike?" Adeleke said to his mother, looking so confused. "I can confidently say Arike is the best maiden currently in this kingdom. She is beautiful, respectful, decent, and a very good cook, mother. What more could you seek for in a daughter-in-law? Adeleke added. I am your mother. I know what is best for you. Can I deceive my own son, whom I breastfed for years? Queen Adebimpe fired back while beating her chest. Adeleke felt weak in his knees after his mother made the last statement and apologized for arguing with her. After apologizing, he asked his mother a question. I trust your judgment, mother, but can you please give me just one reason why Arike isn't good for me? Adebimpe looked at him and sighed. Because she is an orphan. Adeleke couldn't believe his ears. He wondered how being an orphan makes one unsuitable for marriage. He tried to make his mother change her mind, but she got angry instead. You are a prince. You can't just take any bride without proper investigation into her lineage. What they do, their way of life, and everything. We can't trace Arike's family. She might be a marine spirit. What if there is a disease plaguing her lineage? Queen Adebimpe screamed every flimsy excuse she could get from her head at her son concerning Arike. But deep down, she just wanted to keep the hold she had on her son. I understand you, mother, and I know you are just looking out for me. But there is a solution to all you have stated. Adeleke said calmly. I will bring Arike back to see you, and you are free to ask her any questions you might have. We can even do a thorough investigation of our extended family if you want, mother. But please, give her a chance, and if you are not satisfied after this visit, I will do as you have said. Adebimpe was not pleased, but couldn't press further at that moment. She agreed to give Arike a chance. 2 days later, Adeleke took Arike to his mother's quarters, and the drilling began. Arike, people who know me will tell you I don't sugarcoat, so let me go straight to the point. I don't think you are good enough for my son, Queen Adebimpe said firmly. How so, my queen? Arike asked, looking lost. You are an orphan. Your lineage is not traceable. My son can't marry someone like you. Arike bursted into tears immediately. Prince Adeleke only tried to pacify her. He was too scared to caution his mother. How mean can you be to comfortably utter such words before me? Arike said in tears. I can't believe you are weaponizing the death of my parents, bringing back the memory of old wounds just because you don't want me for your son, Arike added. Adeleke sat there, confused on how to approach the situation. Young lady, my son is a prince. A prince. There is no way I would allow him marry a stray cat. Queen Adebimpe hammered. Arike got so angry. She stood up, wiped her tears, and as she was about to leave, she faced Queen Adebimpe suddenly and she said, I should give you a piece of my mind before leaving. My name is Princess Arike Adedapo, daughter of King Adebola Adedapo, the great king of Oluwere Kingdom. If not for the war that wiped out my village and took the lives of my dear parents, people like you will not have the joy of tearing me apart with words, Arike revealed as she struggled to stop the tears dropping from her eyes. Queen Adebimpe and Prince Adeleke were surprised to hear this revelation. I have heard so much about you and would advise you to marry your son and stop hiding under the guise of finding him a perfect girl. Arike thundered before storming out of the palace. And what if she's a princess? Should that make her this rude? This is exactly why I said you can't marry her. She has a temper, Adebimpe bitterly said. Mother, I think you were a bit harsh. I have to go after her, Prince Adeleke said while rushing out. He ignored his mother, who kept calling his name to stop him from leaving. Prince Adeleke couldn't catch up with Arike, so he decided to go to her hut, but she wasn't there. He waited from that afternoon till night time. After 7 hours of waiting, Arike finally came home. She was surprised to see the prince. What are you doing here? She asked firmly. Is it a crime that I have come to see you? Prince Adeleke replied. Your mother made it clear in your presence that I am not suitable for you, and all you did was watch. Arike fired back. I am sorry about how my mother treated you. Let's go in and sort this out, please. Adeleke pleaded. You are no longer welcome. Arike couldn't finish her statement as she rushed to his side and vomited heavily. Prince Adeleke rushed to help her, but she instantly rejected his help. As she pushed him again, she got the urge to vomit again and felt so weak and light. Prince Adeleke had to help her inside. He got her water, changed her clothes, and took care of her that night. The following morning, Prince Adeleke summoned the palace physician, and it was confirmed that Arike was pregnant, carrying Adeleke's child. She was so sad about this news because she had no intention of getting married to the father. Prince Adeleke, on the other hand, was overjoyed. He got so excited and gave Arike a kiss. Why are you this excited? Your mother doesn't want us together, remember? Arike, this is good news. Of course, I can't contain my joy. Please don't worry about my mother. She knows a royal baby belongs with royalty. Adeleke said joyfully. All true, Arike looked displeased. Every minute, she wondered if she should just run away with her unborn child. Her mother's words kept ringing in her head. When Arike's mother was alive, she always told every maiden that had years that it is dangerous to have an in-law that hated them. Arike was confused because it is quite clear her future mother-in-law hates her, but she is pregnant for Adeleke. It was a dilemma she struggled with for days. I don't want my child to be fatherless, she cried. But am I ready to face this incoming hell of a life? Arike asked herself every single day. Prince Adeleke, on the other hand, went over to his mother's chambers and shared the good news. Queen Adebimpe almost fainted on hearing the news. Her world came crashing down. How did you let this happen? She yelled at her son. He tried to pacify her, but she pushed him away. You are a disappointment, Queen Adebimpe kept repeating. She sent him out of her chambers and told the guards not to allow him in. Adeleke pleaded with his mother for weeks, trying to make her understand that he loved Arike and wanted to do right by her and their unborn child. But the queen remained steadfast in her opposition, convinced that Arike was trying to trap her son and take him away from her. Realizing that his mother would not change her mind, Adeleke decided to seek the help of his father, the king. He knew that his father would be able to reason with his mother and convince her to accept their union. So, he went to the palace and poured out his heart to his father, telling him of his love for Arike and the difficult situation they found themselves in. The king listened to his son's words with a heavy heart. He knew that his wife, Queen Adebimpe, had a stubborn streak and was not easily swayed once she had made up her mind. But he also knew that he had to do everything in his power to support his son and help him in this difficult time. The king called together the village chiefs and summoned the queen to a meeting in the great hall of the palace. When Queen Adebimpe arrived, she was greeted by a solemn gathering of the most respected members of the village. The king spoke first, telling his wife of his son's love for Arike and his desire to marry her. He pleaded with the queen to reconsider her stance and to give her blessing to the marriage because it was important for Adeleke to do right by Arike and their child. At first, Queen Adebimpe refused to listen. Her heart hardened against the pleas of her husband and the village chiefs. But after seeing that her objections were falling on deaf ears, Queen Adebimpe pretended she was ready to give her blessings to Adeleke and Arike's union. But in her heart, she swore to make Arike's life a living hell. And so the preparation for the royal grand wedding began. Queen Adebimpe hatched a devious plan to sabotage the wedding. But first, she knew she had to gain Arike's trust and make her believe that she had accepted their relationship. One afternoon, to Arike's surprise, Queen Adebimpe visited her hut with tears in her eyes and apologized for all the mean things she had said to Arike. She claimed to have had a change of heart and wanted to make amends before the wedding. Deep down, Arike wasn't convinced by this sudden move by Queen Adebimpe, but she believed that everyone deserved a second chance, especially someone who was going to be a mother-in-law. So, she forgave her for all the hurtful words and they hugged each other. A week to the wedding, Queen Adebimpe offered Arike a big part of her quarters in the palace for Arike to move into for smooth and easy preparation for the wedding. Arike was hesitant at first to accept this offer, but Prince Adeleke told her it would look like she was still angry at his mother. So, 2 days to the wedding, Arike moved into the chambers the queen had offered her. Queen Adebimpe welcomed her, and as a gesture of goodwill, Arike decided to show her how beautiful her wedding dress looked. She had spent weeks searching for the perfect wedding dress and finally found one that made her feel like a princess. Arike carefully pulled out the dress from its protective cover and held it up for her mother-in-law to see. It was a stunning white gown with intricate lace detailing and beads. Queen Adebimpe gasped in awe at the sight of the exquisite dress and showered Arike with compliments. Arike beamed with pride, grateful that her mother-in-law was finally starting to come around and accept her. She carefully returned the dress to the closet in one of the rooms. Queen Adebimpe grinned wickedly. Her devious plan was starting to come together. At dawn of the wedding day, she snuck into the chambers she gave Arike under the cover of darkness, making her way to the bedroom where the wedding dress was kept. And with a malicious glint in her eye, she opened a big bottle of red oil that she had brought with her and began to pour it onto the delicate fabric of the dress. As the red oil seeped into the lace and silk of the gown, staining it irreparably, Queen Adebimpe felt a rush of satisfaction. She was convinced that by ruining the dress, she could put an end to the wedding, at least for some time, before coming up with a more fertile and permanent plan. In the morning, as Arike stepped into her bedroom to get ready for the most important day of her life, her heart sank at the sight of her ruined wedding dress. "I am in trouble! This is trouble!" she screamed. Tears welled up in her eyes as she realized that her dreams of a perfect wedding had been shattered in an instant. Arike's friends rushed in as soon as they heard her scream. They were all shocked to see the beautiful wedding dress in such state. They tried to pacify their friend, who couldn't stop crying. Prince Adeleke was informed by one of the friends, and as he stormed over to the scene, his mother followed him. Queen Adebimpe asked what the problem was, and her son briefed her. She screamed as if she wasn't aware, or in fact, the perpetrator of the horrible act. They got to the scene, and Prince Adeleke tried his best to console and calm Arike. "Today is our wedding day. My beautiful dress is ruined, Adeleke. Who could have done such a thing?" Arike added, and as she looked at the room entrance, she saw her mother-in-law sticking out her tongue at her and wearing a mocking smile. And it clicked in Arike's head that her mother-in-law destroyed her wedding dress. Before words could come out of Arike's mouth, Queen Adebimpe rushed towards her. "I am so sorry about this. Only a monstrous human is capable of such evil," Queen Adebimpe added in pretense. Arike pushed her mother-in-law with so much force, and Queen Adebimpe fell on the floor. Everyone was shocked to see this. "You are evil! You did this to me!" Arike screamed. "Arike, what has gotten into you?" Prince Adeleke yelled while trying to help his mother up. "Your mother destroyed my wedding dress. What did I ever do to her?" Arike added, "I know what happened to your dress is cruel, but you don't have to pin this on my mother." Prince Adeleke thundered. Queen Adebimpe was leaping for joy. Inwardly, her plan to cause confusion and problem between her son and Arike on their wedding day was yielding good fruits right before her eyes. Suddenly, she started to cry. "Why would I do this to you, Arike? I accepted you and I love you like my daughter. I don't even stay in this part of the palace, Queen Adebimpe said, building on a web of lies. No one believed Arike, not even her friends. They all felt she was just finding someone to blame. If I am getting this horrible treatment before marrying you, Adeleke, what will be my fate after the wedding? Arike cried. This sign is big enough for me to run. There will be no wedding, Arike added firmly. They all started begging her not to cancel the wedding. The king heard of what had happened and summoned Arike to the palace, hoping to get to the bottom of the situation. The king listened intently as Arike explained everything that had happened. She told him about the ruined wedding dress and how no one believed her. She also shared her suspicions about Queen Adebimpe being the culprit. The king was shocked by the accusations against his wife, but he also couldn't ignore Arike's pain and disappointment. He promised her that he would get to the bottom of this and find out the truth. He also pleaded with her not to call up the wedding with his son. He assured her that he would make things right and ensure that she had the perfect wedding she had always dreamed of. Out of respect for her father-in-law, Arike agreed to continue the wedding. And immediately, the king ordered the palace guards to fetch the best dressmaker in the land. Prince Adeleke was waiting for Arike outside the king's court, and as soon as she stepped out, he apologized for making her angry and tried to convince her someone else ruined her dress. In no time, a new wedding dress was made for Arike, and as the wedding guests started to arrive at the palace, Iyabo, the only family Arike had left from her mother's side, also arrived. Arike was surprised Iyabo made it to her wedding. It's been 2 years since she saw her aunt, and it made her feel so emotional. With the help of her friends and the new wedding dress from the king, Arike was set to get married to Prince Adeleke. On the surface, it was indeed a colorful wedding that left the entire village spellbound. The king also gave the new couple a beautiful mansion as a wedding gift. This made Arike so happy because the thought of living with her wicked mother-in-law sent shiver down her spine. 2 days after the wedding, Prince Adeleke and Arike moved into their beautiful home. Queen Adebimpe was very angry about her son being farther away from her, but being a master manipulator, she used every trick in the book to ensure that her son remained completely devoted to her. She would pretend to be sick, asking Adeleke to come over to her house every day to take care of her, leaving poor Arike alone and helpless in their own home. Arike, being pregnant with their first child, found herself left alone to take care of herself and the pregnancy, while her husband catered to his mother's every whim. One afternoon, Arike, now 6 months pregnant, was busy cooking. She heard a knock at the door. Her mother-in-law, Adebimpe, stood at the entrance with a sickly look on her face. "Come in, mother," Prince Adeleke said, concern evident in his voice. "What is wrong? Are you feeling okay?" Queen Adebimpe coughed dramatically and stumbled into the kitchen, clutching her hand to her chest. Arike couldn't help but roll her eyes at the theatrics. Arike knew it was all part of her twisted plot to keep her husband all to herself and away from her. "I think I have a fever, Adeleke," Queen Adebimpe moaned. "I need you to take care of me." Prince Adeleke immediately sprang into action, fussing over his mother and fetching her a glass of water. Arike bit her lip in frustration as she watched her husband dote on his mother while she struggled to stand on her own 2 feet. Queen Adebimpe shot Arike a smug grin, knowing fully well the power she held over her son. For the next few days, Queen Adebimpe made herself at home in Adeleke and Arike's house. She refused to lift a finger to help around the house, claiming she was too weak to do anything. Instead, she demanded that Prince Adeleke wait on her hand and foot, bringing her meals in bed and fluffing her pillows just so. Arike tried to keep her patience, knowing that Adeleke felt obligated to care for his mother. But as the days turned into weeks, her mother-in-law's behavior became increasingly unbearable. She made snide comments about Arike's cooking, criticized the way she decorated the house, and even went so far as to rearrange the furniture in the living room to her liking. But the worst part of it all was how Queen Adebimpe monopolized her son's time and attention. Every spare moment he had, he spent with his mother, listening to her complaints and tending to her every need. Arike felt like a second-class citizen in her own home, pushed to the sidelines, while her husband lavished his attention on his wicked mother. One day, Arike had finally had enough. She confronted Prince Adeleke about his mother's behavior, pouring out her frustrations and begging him to see how his mother was manipulating him. But Prince Adeleke was blind to his mother's faults, choosing to believe her every word over Arike's protests. "I can't believe you are treating my mother this way," Prince Adeleke said, glaring at Arike. "She's sick and needs my help. Can't you see that?" With tears in her eyes, Arike stormed out of the room. The following day, Queen Adebimpe saw Arike eating, and immediately she said, "No wonder you look so fat. It is because you eat too much." Arike felt triggered, but tried so hard to keep her cool. She pondered day and night, thinking of the solution to the nightmare she found herself in. Her mother-in-law is making her marriage a living hell. She complained about everything, called her a bad cook, dirty girl, fat pig, and every mean thing one could think of. But above all this, her husband doesn't have her time, despite being pregnant, solely because of his mother. 3 months after, Queen Adebimpe finally left her son's home. Arike was finally having a bit of fresh air and eagerly awaiting the birth of her child when her mother-in-law struck again. This time, Queen Adebimpe went to extreme lengths to ensure that Adeleke would never leave her side. She connived with the palace physician, claiming that she had a terminal illness and only had a few months left to live. Adeleke, devastated by the news, immediately rushed to his mother's side, leaving Arike alone and scared in their home. That same night, Arike went into labor. She found herself faced with an impossible choice. She was unable to reach Adeleke, who was busy attending to his mother's supposed illness. But Arike was a strong and determined woman, and she knew that she had to fight for herself and her child. With the help of the 2 royal guards stationed at their house, Arike managed to make it to the midwife's hut, where she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. And as she held her daughter for the first time, Arike felt a surge of strength and determination. There and then, she came up with a plan to solve her problems with her husband and mother-in-law. When Adeleke finally arrived at the midwife's hut, he was greeted by a beautiful sight he had never expected. His wife, tired but triumphant, holding their newborn daughter in her arms. And standing beside him, with a look of shock and dismay on her face, was Queen Adebimpe. Arike looked at her mother-in-law with a steely gaze, her voice unwavering as she spoke. "Queen Adebimpe, I have tolerated your wickedness for far too long, but no more. I will not allow you to come between me and my peace of mind any longer. As you can see, I have a bundle of joy to take care of," Arike said, referring to her newborn child. "Adeleke, we are leaving this village and starting anew in a different place. You can choose to come with us, or you can choose to stay behind with your mother. The choice is yours," Arike added firmly. Torn amidst the 3 most important people in his life, Prince Adeleke was confused, but the choices were clear. His mother, who was terminally ill, according to the palace physician, or his wife and their newborn baby. What would you advise Prince Adeleke to do? And do you think Arike made the right decision? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this one right here. I promise you will surely love it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.